Greetings, Virgo and Virgo rising. This is your Western forecast for March 2025. Big turning point month. You may not see the results or understand where this wants to take you for a month or two. This is because we're in an eclipse season. There's a full moon lunar eclipse on the 13th that can have a lot to do with revealing what's been hidden, but it also has a lot to do with letting go of what's not working for you, of what's been holding you back. 2 weeks later is a new moon solar eclipse in fiery Aries. Now, we might have like two of them over this next year and a half or so, but the eclipses repeat the same cycle every 19 years, so it doesn't happen very often. And now it's in Aries. For the whole world that's being impacted by this Aries, there's more initiative, there's more bold action, there's just more of this anxiousness. Now, so we got the eclipses, and Venus and Mercury will be retrograde. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So your ruling planet, Mercury, will be retrograde from March the 14th till April the 7th. Venus, the planet of relationships and desire and creativity, will be retrograde in Aries from March the 1st till April the 11th. So we're going to have Venus and Mercury retrograding, reevaluating, revising, second-guessing, rethinking in Aries in your 8th house, because Aries is 8 signs past Virgo. And the solar eclipse on the 29th of March will be in Aries in your 8th house, once every 19 years. And that's bringing in some bold new decisions and taking action. Now, just the bigger picture here is when a solar eclipse is in your 8th, it highlights deep transformation, finance, and intimacy. Now, how does that make sense? The 8th sign of the zodiac is Scorpio. We start with Aries and we go to Taurus, and Scorpio is the 8th sign. So the 8th house sector has a lot of the Scorpion themes. And Scorpio is very complicated. It's about power and wealth. So it's a major financial area of the chart. If you want to look at major wealth opportunities or inheritance or settlement, you look to the 8th house. But the 8th house of Scorpio is also very passionate and very sexual and very intimate. And so the 8th house can also represent intimacy. But Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the lord of the underworld. Scorpio is a sign of death and rebirth. But psychologically, it is about deep transformation. Of course, a divorce or a death could trigger one to go into a deep transformation. So that's why this 8th house is so complicated, but so are Scorpios. So with that solar eclipse on the 29th, it could take a month or two to start really revealing its gifts, but you could be under the impact for the next 6 months or maybe into next year. And so with this solar eclipse in the 8th house, you may experience a financial breakthrough, a powerful shift in relationships, or emotional healing. It's time to let go of the old to make room for new empowerment. Because Scorpio is endings and new beginnings, it's death and rebirth, and it can be on a financial level, it can be on an intimate level, because it's a very complicated area of the chart. But so is death, so is transformation. Now, before I start breaking all this down, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. All right. So the first 3 weeks of every March, the sun's in Pisces. And so your attention, your priorities, more so, less than each year, is in your 7th house of marriage, partnerships, contracts. Now, Venus is the planet of relationships and negotiations and marriage. And Venus retrogrades every year and a half. It's going to retrograde in your 8th house of all this profound change and a desire for more intimacy. But with Venus in retrograde in your 8th from March the 1st till April the 11th, your relationship is going to be very much tested, or you could be really reevaluating your relationship. And especially with the 8th house, sometimes you could be Scorpio, rules the underworld, things that are hidden. You might be worried or discovering that a significant other is not telling you the truth. There could be some cheating going on the dark side of that 8th house. What if you're in counseling, relational counseling? Then you're going through this deep revelations and transformation. But it also could have you really questioning and reevaluating your relationships. Now, the 8th house also has to deal with finances. Venus is the planet of love and relationships, but Venus likes the finer things in life. So Venus also deals with finances. So you could also be really kind of reevaluating your finances through March. Now, Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, Mercury is that business savvy, negotiating, curious. It's the great salesperson, Mercury. It goes retrograde several times a year. It's going to retrograde in Aries in your 8th house on March the 14th through April the 7th. So there could be these mistakes, these misunderstandings when it comes to finances, and the 8th house can also represent your business partnerships, monies, or your partners, just your spouse's monies. And with Mercury in retrograde, you might be finding out things that have been hidden with the 8th house of secrets. Or you've been starting to really rethink any kind of important financial contracts. Now, the Venus is retrograding in Aries, but come March the 27th, it's retrograding or moving backwards. It's an optical illusion out of the 8th into the 7th when it goes into Pisces, as Pisces is opposite Virgo. Opposite deals with a significant other. So from March the 27th till April the 11th, now Venus is now shifted, retrograding, reevaluating into the 7th house of marriage or partnerships or contracts. You'll start not having the confidence or more clarity to take action with partners or contracts until the Venus goes direct on after April the 11th. Mercury is trying to make decisions and reevaluate. And it could be with the 8th house, all these financial contracts. Then it retrogrades into the 7th of negotiations, of mediations, or forming a business partnership. Now that's retrograde until the 7th of April. And then it goes forwards into the 7th. There were clues the first 3 weeks of March, when the sun transiting in Pisces was drawing your attention, your interest to 7th house matters, which is your spouse, your partner, contracts. Now, the Venus in retrograde, the Mercury in retrograde, doing a lot of reevaluating and setting up for this powerful solar eclipse on the 29th that could be impacting you for at least 6 months, maybe a year or longer. But I think all these readjustments and the clues of the sun in Pisces could be about, in the most positive, could be forming a business partnership or getting a major contract offer to make more money, the 8th house, or there could be about endings, because the 8th house it wants more intimacy, more connection. But it's also, the 8th house can be the sector of transformation. And on the dark side it could be the letting go and the endings. So it's more the middle of April when and it takes a month or two for that eclipse in the 8th house to start revealing itself. So the Venus and Mercury, which is retrograde, so you're doing all this reevaluating, rethinking, until the middle of April, before you're going to feel more confidence to take action. It's with a contract or with a partner or forming a business partnership or getting married or getting divorced. But it's all part of that, because of a partnership or contract. That's that 7th going into April. That's all part of this major turning point with the solar eclipse. Now, for it to might make more sense, is the full moon lunar eclipse on March the 13th in Virgo. Well, this a full moon lunar eclipse is like a full moon on steroids. It can be very emotional, testing relationships. It's going to not last a day or two, but it could last for a couple of weeks if it's hitting a planet in your chart. Any of you have any planet in Virgo, around 23 degrees of Virgo, it could be impacting you for up to a month to 2 months. But this full moon lunar eclipse on the 13th, certainly going to be impacting the whole world for the last 2 weeks of March. It's in your 1st house because it's in Virgo, and you're a Virgo or a Virgo rising. So it's putting you into the spotlight. Now, on one hand, this could reveal to you, or you're revealing to the world, about you wanting to be more of a leader, more visible and independent. So that could be all these huge changes with business if you want to take more of the lead. If you were like in a law firm, this would be an ideal situation of being offered a business, being a partner in the firm, because that would be that 7th house. But it could also be, you got to look at how this all plays out in your own life, is that lunar eclipse could be really revealing where there's strong need for freedom and independence and new beginnings. So that could be unraveling a contract, a business partnerships, a marriage, for you to start having more freedom and independence. That is one possibility. So this is, you don't want to make any important changes or decisions with all these retrogrades, and you don't want to make important decisions the week before or the week after a solar eclipse. But we're still under the retrogrades into the first part of March. But the seeds of major change are being planted in March. And it's going to also involve partnerships or contracts of coming or going. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.